All right, so I see somebody's here. So what I thought we would do today, and this is a very off the cuff, right at the last minute, Carrie and them are swamped at the shop. They've got all kinds of products coming in and orders that come in over the weekend, always, back them up on Monday. So I thought today that I would just do something here from the house, and I thought we would talk about blogging. I know a lot of you are wreath makers, and a lot of you have businesses, and I'm sure a lot of you blog already, and you probably have more blogging experience than I do. But I thought that I would just kind of go over some things and answer some questions. If you have any questions about blogging, I'll do my best to answer. I've been blogging for about 10 or 12 years now. Trendy Tree has been in business for about 14 years. I think that's right, about 14 years. And I started blogging around, well, we went into business in about 2007. And I started blogging around 2010. Thank you all for joining. And I hope that you'll share our link with your friends. And let me know where you're from. So I started blogging about 2010, and one of the first things I did was get a free blog. And there's lots of places out there that you can get a free blog, and the one that I got was with Blogger, and I was with Blogger for a while. It doesn't cost anything, and they have a lot of good formats and templates, and it really makes it pretty easy. All you got to do is kind of go in and fill in the blanks and add your images. So I started out with Blogger. And of course I can share with you my mistakes because, hopefully if you learn from my mistakes, you won't make the same mistake. The first thing I did, I started out, I made several different blogs because I thought, at that time we were mainly selling Christmas ornaments. So I did like over a Christmas ornament blog. And then I did Annieglass Christmas ornament blog. And then I did like Radco. And then I did, like a generic kind of blog. So I had like 4 or 5 blogs out there. And of course, this was during the time that I was still working full time and we were operating the business in the afternoons, from our house. Trendy Tree started out as Pence Christmas Tree Farm, and it started out at our house. I had all these ornaments and things in my sunroom, and then filled it up. So then we moved upstairs. Carrie had already, married and moved out. So we had 2 empty bedrooms upstairs. So we started filling that up. And then my husband had a shop, right across our driveway. And so I told him, I said, well, just give me a corner of the shop. So I did that. And then we filled the shop up. Mostly still ornaments. And then we got into decorations from Raz, and then mesh and ribbons, and then there you go, it kind of mushroomed. So at some point we left all that and bought a warehouse in town. So that's where Carrie and David are now, are at the warehouse. And of course Carrie has the City Mercantile store in downtown Pontotoc. So the busier I got, I realized that having all those different blogs was a mistake. So I narrowed it down to at this point, it's a couple of years later, and we have the Trendy Tree. We changed the title of the website from Pence Christmas Tree Farm to Trendy Tree. So we had Trendy Tree. So I had a blog on Trendy Tree. So that's been my primary blog ever since. And those other blogs that I started, they're like, I looked at one while ago, and the last post that I had was 2010. And if you click on that link, at that time we had an ornament site called Trendy Ornaments. And if you click on that link, it still will bring you back to Trendy Tree. With all the changes and things that we have made throughout the years, through websites and all that, if you click on that link, it'll still bring you back to Trendy Tree now. So I was kind of surprised at that, this morning when I checked it. But anyway, so now I have narrowed it down to one blog, and it's the Trendy Tree blog, and it's attached to the website. Now, if you're familiar with Trendy Tree, you may have noticed that we changed our website platform in July and went with Shopify. Prior to that, my blogging format had been WordPress, which is great. But when we changed over to Shopify, I will have to say, I love Shopify. I love it for the products and the process and, you know, all those things, but their blogging platform is just not very good. So I'm not really happy with that. But anyway, that's something that we'll have to work on. But it's not as good as a WordPress. So if you were thinking about starting a blog, my recommendation would be, you know, if you wanted to do something free, get your feet wet and not spend any money and just, you know, that kind of thing, you know, Blogger is great. And your images will show up good in Google with Blogger. But if you want to, you know, get serious about it, then you need a domain, and I would go with a WordPress blog. But anyway, if you have any questions, you know, just please stop me anytime. So I'll be glad to try to answer those. So when you're writing a blog, one of the most important things, I think, is for your personality to come through the blog. You need to write like you talk. Now, I'm not saying you got to use bad grammar. You know, if you know, of course, we're from the South and we say y'all, you know, all the time, and that's fine. You know, you type that. Excuse me. But kind of write your post, you know, the way that you talk. And one of the blogs that I have always enjoyed so much was Brooke Riley with Refabbed, because when you read her blog post, it's just like you are talking with Brooke. And Brooke is a friend of ours, and we met her at Market and other places when we've had programs and that kind of thing. She and Carrie knew each other, and they were on a mastermind, and that's how we know Brooke. Carrie was at a mastermind that Brooke was at, and they met and, you know, became friends and all. And she's, like I say, when you go and you read her blog, you say, I mean, you can just see Brooke in that. So that's always good. It's, you know, try not to obsess over your post. Now, and I do this. Sometimes when I'm writing a post, I'll write it, and then I'll go back and I change it. I change the sentence, and the first thing you know, you just kind of screwed the whole thing up. It's sort of like taking a test. When you're taking a test, you know, the first thing that comes to your mind is usually the right answer. If you go back and you start erasing and changing things, chances are you're going to change it and it's going to be wrong. But, you know, so just write like yourself. And then you can always use something like Grammarly. I used Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T, on our old WordPress blog. Let's see, Joyce says she would love to start a blog but doesn't have a clue to get started. Well, search out blogger.com, blogger.com, and just explore that, because they have templates that you can use. They have some that you can purchase, but they have so many that are free, and you just plug that template in and, you know, write and put your images in and so forth. But that's a really good place to start. I forgot what I was talking about. I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all know, my dad died last week, and, you know, we've been his funeral was on Thursday, and Friday we had to go out to the nursing home and get the belongings and things like that. And I spent the day out at their old house Saturday looking at old picture albums, and got sidetracked scanning images and whatnot. And I'm still showing the signs of being tired over the weekend. But anyway, I was talking about Grammarly. Yeah, Grammarly and Yoast. Yoast is a program that you purchase, or it's a yearly subscription, and it is made specifically for WordPress blogs, and you plug that in, and it will scan what you have written, and it will make suggestions. Things like sentences that are too long, you need to break it up. It will tell you that you need to put more headers in your paragraph. Your paragraph is too long. All those things help with your search engine optimization, and it will help you your keywords and key phrases and things like that. So that's good. I was really disappointed to find out that it would not work with our Shopify blog. And y'all, if y'all hear anything, Browser is here with me. And he's subject to start barking at any time if he sees something in the window. You gonna say good morning? You gonna say good? Come here, Browser. You gonna... No, come here. Look. Oh, he just wants to put his head in my lap. Okay, anyway. All right, but Grammarly, you know, that will catch your, thank you all for the comforting words. I appreciate that. And the prayers, you know, my dad was 98. I mean, what can you say? When you live to be 98, you've had a good life. I told somebody the other day, the only thing I could imagine, my mother's been dead about 20 years, and I just imagine when she saw Daddy, she finally said, JT, what took so long to get here? So anyway, I'm just, it's been, I've had a good life. Someone is asking, do you use Elementor? I have not. I'm not familiar with that. Is it like a grammar correcting program? Peggy, I'm not sure about that. Grammarly has a free version, and it's really good at catching your misspelled words and wrong, like, you know, sometimes our fingers just get to typing, and your fingers type not necessarily what's in your brain. So your words like then and there and of and if, you know, it catches errors like that. So that's good. But like I say, Yoast does not work with Shopify. I'm very, very disappointed about that. But anyway, find a blog that you like I say, like Brooke Riley with Refab. You know, a blog that you're already following, see how they write and find out, you know, what is it about that blog that attracts you? Is it the personality coming through, or is it simply the project they're working on? You have to kind of write for your readers. Now, you know, I know most of you here are interested in wreath making, flower arranging, projects, decorating. You're interested in nice decorations from res and ribbons and signs and mesh and all those things and techniques and all that. So I know that's what you're interested in. So the majority of my blog posts will be relative to that. Sometimes though, you know, I'll drop in there and I'll have a post about chicken casserole, you know, because once your readers, once you get a following of readers, you know, they'll read whatever you write. So I used to, sometimes I was never sure about things to write about, because I'd think, well, this is a business. You know, I only need to write about business things. I only need to write about products or projects or crafting. I should not bring in, you know, my personal life. And then I kind of just threw that out to the wind and thought, what the heck, you know, everybody's got most everybody's got children, most everybody's got grandchildren, everybody eats, everybody cooks. So, you know, I kind of, you know, if I want to write something about my grandkids, that's what I do. Now, I have done posts about my grandchildren, and I would like, especially when they were smaller, you know, I'd take them out and let them make a craft with a product that we sold, or, you know, Halloween tree. And then my goal, I guess, as a blogger here has always been to demonstrate products, you know, to increase product sales. I mean, that's kind of been my goal. I love blogging, and it is an opportunity to get your thoughts out there, that kind of thing. But, you know, my goal is to sell products. And even though I'm retired, my blogging goal is still to sell products for Trendy Tree. So I would try to incorporate things that we sold. So I bring my grandchildren in and we would do things, but I would, you know, tie in products with it and that kind of thing. Not always, because sometimes I have blog posts that just don't have anything at all to do with Trendy Tree. And usually when I start a post like that, I will say something like, you know, this doesn't have anything to do with Trendy Tree, but, you know, here's my new kitchen, you know, or whatever, something like that. It does help, I think, to develop that know, like, and trust factor. You know, people that buy from you, or people that know, like, and trust you will buy from you. And so, like I say, you develop that following, and you know, they'll read your post about how to make a ruffle wreath, and then if you come in here and you have a post today about how to make a chicken casserole, you know, they'll read that. So there's no right or wrong way to do it, I guess. And you know, when I quote retired, you know, from Trendy Tree, that's been a few years ago. I said, okay, you know, from now on, you know, I'm gonna blog. I'm just gonna blog for me. Joyce is asking how often you post on your blog daily. No, Joyce, I don't post. I do not have a schedule, and that's not a good thing. You probably should have a schedule where you are putting out a post at least once a week. I don't do that. I post when I have the opportunity. We have been in the business of here since July, making the migration from our old platform to Shopify. So everything, practically everything that else I have done, like tutorials, has just kind of had to go on a back burner. So I haven't done a post probably in 3 weeks. That's not good. This is one of those things where I can, you know, I can tell you how to do things. Don't do as I say, you know, do as I say, not as I do myself. But anyway, daily would be great. But weekly for sure would be good. Okay. Now I can see right now, if I stop and answer questions, I'll lose my train of thought. So y'all gonna have to help me out. I'm sorry. But write about what people are interested in. And if you not sure what people are interested in, you can always go to, like, there's this website called answerthepublic.com. And if you're thinking about like what you need to blog about, you need to know what people are asking for. You need to know what people are searching for. So you can go, like, to answerthepublic.com and put in a question like how to make a wreath. And it will pull up all these questions that people ask. And it may be questions like how to make a mesh wreath, how to make a mesh wreath with 2 colors, how to make a ruffle wreath, how to make a patriotic wreath. So that will kind of help you narrow down your focus. So when you are looking at your title, you want to make your title of your blog post like a searchable term for sure. So, you know, sometimes if you were tempted to, like, put a blog post, put a title in that's something like Great Weekend. Well, you know, people are not going to search for Great Weekend, let me tell you. So you're going to have to put in something like, you know, I don't know, don't say Great Weekend, say something, you know, you got to be more specific, I guess is what I'm trying to say with your titles. I mean, like, you know, and I'm not always done this, and like I say, you know, I'm learning all the time, and even when I know better, I still do things not the best way. But how to make a ruffle wreath using deco mesh, how to make a patriotic floral arrangement, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, you want kind of specific. And you do want lots of good images. You know, you've got to have good images in your blog post. The bigger, the better. And if you're doing something like a tutorial or a recipe or something that is like step by step by step, if you can give images that are like step by step by step, that's great. I have been guilty of taking video stills. You know, I have been guilty of making making a tutorial, and like by video, not live, but by video. And then when I go back and write the blog post, run through that video and capture stills. They're not the best images. I've done that. But sometimes I would think that having that image showing up close what I was doing was worth it, even though the image was not a great image. Back when Carrie and I could do tutorials together, lots of times I would stop, you know, like right in the middle of the tutorial and get an image, you know, like she'd be holding something. But when you're doing that yourself, it's kind of hard to do. But I would get her to hold something and I get a close-up image, and that was great. You know, it just doesn't always work out that way. And now, more recently, what I have been doing about images is I go ahead and I create an image that I'm going to use for Pinterest. And you know that format, I always use 1,000 by 1,500 pixels. So I go ahead and I make that image in that format, or create that pinned image, and that's what I put in my blog post. And then that way, once my blog post is posted, then I can go back and I can, you know, click on them and pin those images to Pinterest, and they're great images, they're ready to go, and they're the long images. And that, you know, of course, sometimes, you know, when you're blogging, you know, you need a landscape sized image, and you know, that's okay, we'll do that too. But it has kind of helped, you know, like, it just helps sometimes to go ahead and make those in a Pinterest kind of image. Of course, if you're sharing to Instagram, you know, you want them square. So always in your post, if you can, list some way to capture email addresses or a subscription. Again, our blog right this moment does not have that. And that is a downfall of Shopify, and I don't like that. So we may have to get some customized, coding done maybe to be able to do that. But you want to capture their email if you can, and to add to your email list, you need an email list, and you want to ask them to subscribe, and you want to give them an opportunity to leave comments. Sorry. When they leave a comment, you want to respond. There's nothing worse, you know, aggravating to me, is to have a question. You know, if I'm just saying, hey, great blog, loved it, that's fine. I don't expect you to comment to that, that's fine. But if I ask a specific question like, you know, I love what you did, but how did you tie that, you know, how did you tie that ornament on? Then I want that answer. And, you know, if people don't answer your questions, you'll eventually stop going to their blog. You go to somebody else's that answers your questions. So that's always something that, you know, to strive for. I do that on YouTube. I look at every comment on YouTube and I respond to every comment, whether it's a question or whether it's just a, hey, I liked it. You know, I just say thank you. I respond to every comment, unless I've missed one. But I do that on YouTube, on all of our videos. Now, on our blog today, right this minute, comments are disabled because Shopify's platform is crap, that part. Because if you left a comment on Shopify, the only way that I can respond to you is make another comment. And you might see that. I mean, you would have to come back to the blog to see if anybody had made any more comments. So I would have to, you make your comment, and if I see it, and then I come back and make my comment, and then in the back office of Shopify, I got to go in and approve my own comment. So we stopped comments on that, and what I'm trying to do at the end of a blog post, try to make it a habit of saying, if you have any comments or questions, please email me at, and it's info@trendytree.com. And if you send that and you're asking a question, Carrie forwards that on to me and I will respond to that. And like I say, it's not the best way. It's helpful if you've got the comments out there so everybody that's reading the post can see the comments. So like I say, we're dealing with, you know, not the best blog platform right now, but it's what we have. So we have to, you know, we have to use it. Let's see. I want to come back and talk about affiliate marketing, but I'll do that in just a little bit later. Okay. Oh, another thing that you want to do at the bottom of your post, like say for instance, say I keep going back to ruffle wreath tutorial because I guess I've done so many of them, because you think, well, if you've done one, why do you keep doing them? But you know, I've learned that each blog post, this may be the first blog post that this person has seen. So someone told me one time, she said, well, why don't you just do a basic ruffle wreath tutorial and then just keep referring back to it? And you know, the more pages you've got out there, the more viewers you'll have. And I have found for us, it works better, or for me, it works better to go ahead and treat each post just like it is a first time somebody has seen a post and they don't, you know, they've not seen your other 500 posts. So I'll go ahead and I'll talk about what size our wreaths are, and I'll list the products, and I'll say, you know, I'll just give more information. I'll list the tools again, and you know, all those things. And I do try to, at the bottom, I'm trying to like, you know, say something like, you know, if you want to see more tutorials like this, try these posts, and I'll leave links for that. And then, you know, leave that section where, you know, if you have any questions, you know, contact me here. Now, our blog, that was the WordPress blog, was attached to our old website, and it was brought over, it was migrated over to the Shopify website. And there was something like about, oh my gosh, thousands of articles. And when those came over, the links may not all work. So if you're going back and you're looking at our old blog articles and you click on a product link, it may still be something that we still sell, that we have in stock, that we keep in stock, or try to keep in stock, and it may give you a dead link. You know, those links are going to have to be, you know, tweaked. I'm going to have to go back to those, and it's one of those things, it's like on the back burner. You know, there are other things that are more important right now, and I'll have to come back to that. Remind them to subscribe or sign up. You know, when you're working on a post, don't overwork it. Don't overthink it. Put it out there. Publish it. You know, don't, you know, if you keep obsessing over it, you know, you'll work on it today and you're not quite happy with it. You won't post it. First thing you know, you've moved on and you're going to be out of the notion of even posting it. So don't overwork it. You know, write it, put your images in there, and publish it. Keep it short. You know, people don't want to read a dissertation. I mean, they don't want, you know, they don't want to take 30 minutes. They're going to take 4 or 5 minutes to see what you got. You know, they don't want a long, lengthy post. Write about things that interest others, not just what you're interested in. You've got to think about your ideal customer, and you've got to write, you know, write to that ideal customer. If your ideal customer is a wreath maker, then, you know, speak to them. You know, do the bulk of it, you know, to them, and then you can throw in some other things. You got something to talk about, you know, or a good recipe to share, or a funny story, you know, put it out there. But write what interests others. Write posts that solve problems. And if you don't know what to write about, you know, and you have a platform like Facebook, ask your readers or your viewers, ask them, you know, what are you looking for? What would you like to see? What would you know, what kind of tutorial would you like us to see? What questions do you have? What are the problems you're having? Are you having trouble attaching large ornaments? Are you having trouble attaching signs? Or are you having trouble putting colors together? Ask them. They'll tell you what they would like to see. One thing that, an example of that is, we did a post, well, it's been a while back, but on how to take wreath images. I mean, that's right out there with, you know, people that are selling wreaths for sure, that run into problems with their images. I mean, have a great wreath, but their image is not great. And, you know, if you've got a great wreath, you've got to show it off to, you know, its best advantage. So, you know, we've got a blog post that, you know, gives you some tips on taking images of wreaths. If you do a lot of photo editing, like I do, you know, I use Photoshop, but I also use Canva, and I also use PicMonkey. There's lots of programs out there. Some of them are free. I use the paid version of Canva and the paid version of PicMonkey, and of course Photoshop too, because there's features in there that I use, and I use those programs every day. And just to reassure you that people don't care about how you write. They are just interested in what you can teach them or share with them. Keep making your point. You know, if you're making bows, you know, that kind of thing, you know, keep telling them how much they need this bow maker. Narrow your subject down. Narrow your subject down. And like, you know, if you want to do a post about social media, don't try to write about all of them. Write about, you know, Pinterest. Well, that's not really social media, I guess, but Instagram or Facebook, you know, pick one. You know, kind of narrow that subject down. Free images. If you're writing a post and it's not necessarily something that you made, you're writing a post about travel or food or motivation, inspiration, something like that. You can go to, there's lots of free images out there. Unsplash, Pixels, that's Pexels. Canva has free images, and PicMonkey. When you put images in your, oh, Joy says she wants to attract buyers. Well, one way of attracting buyers is to solve problems like how to pick out where to hang your wreath, how to hang a wreath, how to put, you know, a wreath on your front door, how to hang a wreath on your front door without damaging your door, how to store your wreath, how to keep your wreath clean. There's lots of different ways, lots of different things. When you're putting your images in your blog post, be sure and use alt tags. That's that little tag that your viewer doesn't typically see unless they are maybe they've got their images cut off their computer. I don't know that, you know, anybody really does that or not, but alt tags are searchable. So, you know, always put something in there for your alt tag. Of course, you want to have keywords in your post, searchable terms, and, you know, there's lots of keyword finders to help you with that. And if you have a business, you know, you can go back probably and look at what people are searching for on your website. I know we can look at our analytics and see what people are searching for, and those are keywords that we can use. I always kind of think about it like, you know, what would you be searching for if you were going to make a Christmas wreath with snowflakes? Well, you're not going to just search beautiful Christmas wreath. I mean, you're going to narrow that down, and you'll say, you know, show me a wreath with blue ribbon and snowflakes or something like that. And now, for many, many years, all of our blog posts, they were on our website, and we did not do any advertising or anything like that. We decided a long time ago, and of course, Trendy Tree is Carrie and David's now, but we decided a long time ago that we were not going to have ads run on the website. We didn't want it cluttering up the product pages and things like that. Well, at the point that I kind of retired from the business or sold the business to Carrie and David, then we started allowing ads to run on the blog, because that's my revenue, I guess. Well, it is my revenue. For blogging. So that was one way to, you know, reimburse me for work that I do here at the house. So we do run ads on the blog. They don't go anywhere else on the product pages or any of our other pages, only on the blog. They're aggravating to readers. I know they are. I know you know that when you go to any blog post and, you know, you've got 6 images and then you got a little more type and a little more paragraph to read and then another image of an ad. But that's just, you know, I guess that's just part of it, or what we live with right now. So it does provide some income, and if it was, you know, if it's your business and, you know, and you're getting that income, that's great. Mediavine is the ad thing that we use. Do not use Google AdSense. It's just reimbursement. It's just ridiculous. It's so small. Now, with our YouTube videos, that's our only choice, or that's what we've got, is Google AdSense, and it's not very much. I mean, you've got to have a lot of views for that to you know, it's, you know, for me, it's, you know, $200-300 a month. On a rare occasion, it might bump up to $600 or $700, but on the average, it's going to be around $200 or $300 a month on YouTube ad revenues. But now the blog is a little different. Just to give you some idea of, you know, how many views you could get. In March, our blog got 878,000 page views. April, 490,000. May, 171,000. You can see during that time, I can kind of equate that to like how much time I spent working on the blog, because in May and June, we've got spring products coming in, summer products coming in, and I'm busier and I don't have less time to blog. June, it dropped on down to 105,000. July, 103,000, and that's when we were, you know, making that switch from, you know, platform, so I just didn't get any blogging done. August, 125,000, and I've done very little blogging in the last 3 or 4 months. On average, well, okay, but that, because of those numbers, and I will tell you, this is an unusual amount. The highest I've ever gotten per month for blog revenue was $6,800. That was the highest ever. 5,391. I mean, I think that's great income. I mean, I think that's great. I think, you know, heck, you know, I'm thinking like, I'd rather apply myself to blogging all the time. But blogging is just a little bit of thing that I do. I'm always adding products and things like that to the website. So I don't blog very much. But on the average, my blogging income is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500 a month. Debbie's asking, is your blog on the Trendy Tree webpage? Yes, it's a link down at the bottom of the page. And like I say, it's, you know, Shopify's blog platform is kind of crap. But Peggy's saying on Mediavine, you have to have 50,000 page views for over a month to qualify. Something like that. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly how many, Peggy. I applied for Mediavine and got accepted, and they have been great. And they help, you know, keep things. You know, sometimes when I see ads pop up where they're not supposed to be, or they're too big, or they're something like that, I can communicate with them and they will, you know, work on that. But that is, like I say, that's for retirement especially, that's a great supplemental income. And, you know, I don't expect, you know, 3,000 every month. Sometimes, you know, it's less than that. But anyway, it's very worth my time to do that, and it promotes sales. So it's a, you know, it's a good opportunity to do both. Now I do, when I quote, like I say, I retired a couple of years ago, I started another blog called babyboomerblogger.com. And I thought, okay, you know, I'm gonna just, you know, I'm probably not going to be doing much with Trendy Tree, and I'm going to start this baby boomer blog, and that's where I'm going to blog. I'm going to blog about things that are retirement, and don't travel, but, you know, food and grandkids and the house, and, you know, things like that, you know, things that would interest people my age. And I'm going to build that blog up, you know, and that's going to be great. Well, there again, I just, you know, I bit off more than I can chew, because I wind up, you know, sticking with the Trendy Tree blog because it's generating revenue and it's generating sales. So if I ever do really retire completely from Trendy Tree, I'll focus on that. Is any more questions? I know I've been just running off at the mouth, and like I say, this was not, this was impromptu. It was not, I didn't put a lot of, I had about 30 minutes to put some thought into what I was going to say or talk about, so it's been kind of haphazard. But if there's any more questions, and I'll go back and I'll try to look at the comments that I have missed. But if there's any questions while I'm still here, I'll be glad to try to help. Or any questions about anything, anything about Trendy Tree. Now, you know, not specific orders or anything, but if there's any other questions about Trendy Tree in general, or you know, wreath making or anything like that, I'll be glad to try to answer. If you have a blog, put your link out there. Put your link out there. Let's see. Okay. Well, all right. Well, if there's not any more questions, then I will get off of here. I've got a page full of, I think Craig Bachman is shipping about 5 pallets of stuff this week, and I need to work on those products. And I'm sure tomorrow they'll be coming live to you from City Mercantile, downtown Pontotoc, and then Wednesday, by that time, we'll get carried back at the warehouse again, okay? Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it so much. And thank you for the kind words about my dad. I appreciate the thoughts and the prayers. Thank you. Bye-bye.